Yo, welcome back to the Cool Kids Podcast. Today we got Kyle and
Darren.
And today we're starting off strong with, so Darren, have you seen The Last Dance on Netflix?
I have not yet.
So it's a documentary about Michael Jordan, or the 90s with the Bulls.
Uh-huh.
So the 6 championships the Bulls got in the 90s with Michael Jordan. And it goes, because there's a documentary on the last year, I think it's 97 or 98, their last championship, because they kind of felt it or knew it, because that's when all the contracts were coming up.
Okay.
At least Jordan and Scotty's were. And so they had a documentary, and it shows of the last championship. And it's a pretty good documentary, but there's some controversy about it, and there's been a big debate recently about who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James.
Yeah,
and Kobe,
I've seen that.
And Kobe Bryant.
But a little bit on Twitter.
Yeah, but honestly kind of cut Kobe out of the question.
Why is that?
Because he might have more championships than LeBron, but I just feel like LeBron and Michael Jordan are just a bit different, a bit more great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would say LeBron's the best. That's my opinion.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Do the stats support that?
For championships, no. For MVPs, no. But for points, yes.
Uh-huh.
And in my opinion, I feel like he's more of an all-around team member, and like better with the team, which makes any team better with him. When you have Michael Jordan, he was controlling the ball all the time and had it all the time. A lot of times he would just be like, give the ball to me, only to me. I mean, of course you're going to win.
Ball hog.
Yeah, ball hog. I mean, of course you're going to win, but
yeah,
it's just boring sometimes. It's better if you bring your teammates in, and also you have a more constructive team, because you can't just win on one person all the time.
So is that documentary that sparked this?
Yeah, because there's rumors that he allowed Netflix to do this documentary, because I don't know if he owned that content or the videos, or if he had like partial ownership or something, but I guess he allowed it because he wanted to show that he was the greatest still, and he didn't want LeBron to outshine him, even while he's still not playing or hasn't played for the last 2 decades.
Like a little comeback?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's cool, like, because Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
It's like...
You still fuck with him?
Of course, yeah. It's Michael Jordan, man. Who couldn't? I just wish fucking, like, LeBron could have gotten a dynasty with the Cavs. Think about it, he's won 4 championships with 3 teams. Fucking 2 with Miami, 1 with the Cavs, and 1 with the Lakers. So...
Fuck yeah.
Very diverse.
Yeah. Well, then in other news, did you hear about young Dolph yesterday?
I did not.
He's a rapper from fucking Memphis, and he got shot and killed the other day. He went, apparently he frequents there all the time, and he pulled up, and as he was coming out, they came up and they shot him, so it was like a whole thing. And I posted like the video on my YouTube, but he's pretty big, so that was completely fucked up.
That's bullshit.
Bro,
he was getting cookies, man. Come on the fuck on.
Yeah, I know, bro. And the craziest part was that certain cookie shop, it was called like Makita's Cookie Shop, they posted on their Instagram young Dolph going there the week before. Like when he had went the last week for his cookie run, they took a picture with him and they posted it on there. And
I bet he loves that place. He's probably freaking there every week because he loves cookies, and they love him, and they post on Instagram. People figure it out, and then he got shot. Yeah. What is this world?
And I mean, it was fucked up because he's also, he was in his hometown. And then also, so I saw a video of like an eyewitness account. He was taking a video of the whole thing, and he was like, I thought I saw young Dolph's car pull up here. So obviously everybody in his hometown knows what he's driving. They know where he's at and shit, since he's in his hometown. So it was probably pretty easy to track him down. I mean, and then especially with the cookie shop, I mean, not that it's necessarily their fault, but I mean, it probably didn't help that the cookie shop is posting him, at a place that he goes to all the time.
Like, I mean, it's just like, it's America.
I mean, it's
so
like
different. Like, imagine telling this to somebody in like Japan.
They'd be like, what the fuck?
Explaining to them that like this rapper went to a cookie shop every week. Yeah. They post on their Instagram, and these people found out, and he got shot at the cookie shop.
Well, you know what? I mean, it's like, you can look at each case individually, but it's like when you look at the whole thing all together, it's like all these rappers are fucking dying, man. It's like it's either drugs or they get fucking shot. And it seems like it's all the time, bro. It's consistently year after year. There's more and more and more and more people that fucking die from it. You know, that was his
For me,
case.
the biggest one was X. That one was a big deal.
Man, that
like,
sucked.
He was just in his car, like, goddamn, with his girl too.
I mean, the thing was, if I would have been put on to Peep, like,
it was with his girl, right?
Who? X?
Yeah.
No, he was alone. He went to the motorcycle shop to get a motorcycle, and then I believe it was when he came back out to his car, he got in and he was going to drive away, and then they ran up on him when he did that. But bro, he had a fire BMW too. I mean,
it was an i8, yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice fucking car. But yeah, bro, shit's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, I was watching a video, and they're like, your hometown has the most love, but it also has the most jealous people. And those jealous people also know like what you look like and how to track you down because you live there, especially when you're back. So it's like it's fucking, you're rolling the dice going back to where you live.
Yeah, man. I think about that, but I also think about like my grade, and I'm like, I could deal with most of them.
Yeah, where we live, it's not super fucked up like that. But
yeah, but bro, it's places around us can be like there's.
Oh yeah, bro. I mean, you go 10 minutes either way, and you could be in somewhere fucked.
Like if you go like even like an hour and a half or an hour, it's like you can get pathetic.
God damn it!
Don't put your shit on silent. God damn it.
The weird thing is, it is on silent. See?
Oh, okay.
Strange.
Oh, that's how silent works for iPhones.
Yeah. You just flip the switch right here.
I'm an Android boy over here. Google Pixel.
Oh, you should have saw how I roasted an Android user on Twitter the other day. I was like, so there was like a post, and it was like an iMessage conversation, and it was like, so have you seen those memes on Instagram where it's like the baby's secret account, and he's like, and he's like, hey gang, I need some money to put out my next song or whatever. So it was like one of those, and it was like an iMessage screenshot, and it was a little baby, and he was like, yo gang, I need your social security to put my next project together, whatever. And so then this dumb bitch in the comments, she comments down below, she goes, yeah, I would never respond to that unless it had a blue check mark. And I go, it's iMessage, not fucking Twitter. I'm like, what the fuck? So I commented, I was like, where's the blue check mark? It's iMessage. And then I look on her tweet, and it says like Twitter for Android. And I said, oh shit, my bad. I just saw you using Android, bro. I said, ain't nobody wants your bank details with your Nokia Lumina looking ass, bro.
That's pretty good.
I know, bro. Funny. I got like hella likes on there, and then she ended up blocking me. Like, thank God I screenshotted the conversation, because like I wasn't able to like pull it back up because she blocked me and deleted all the tweets and shit. So it was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, man. I remember one time I had this big debate back during all the riots. I remember I had a big debate on Twitter about guns.
Really?
And, yeah.
I didn't know you were on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I just never post shit or anything.
I only really post music shit, and then I like look at just everything going on pretty much.
I just go on trending once in a while, and then it's mostly just streamers I watch that I follow. Yeah. Because honestly, like the group of streamers I watch is fucking awesome, because it's a group called Offline TV and Friends, and it's literally a group of like 20 streamers, and it's like all of them together makes up a solid like 25% of Twitch, the Twitch community, literally. So it's like awesome, but there's some big ass streamers on there. But I mostly just use Twitter for following people. Yeah,
I mean, it's good for like rap news and shit as well.
Yeah, any news you want, it's pretty much the best for that.
Yeah,
but also Twitter's just like so toxic. It's like the most toxic place there is.
Bro, it's so bad.
I mean, you could maybe consider other places more, but it's, ugh.
Bro, it was like even when I got my my Pac-Man song played on No Jumper, it was like, bro, I felt like some of the Twitter users were over there like, because bro, it was so bad on some of them. Like even the songs that were like sounded like professional as fuck, like they could be millionaires. People are like, what is this fucking garbage? They're just like putting all these trash can emojis, like all this shit. They're like, yeah, this guy should kill himself, all this shit. I'm just like, oh my god. Like,
think about it though. I feel like if any artist were ever to clap back to any one of them personally, they probably would say nothing. I've heard from like creators that is either two things. They either apologize like profusely, or they double down.
Yeah.
So You either get one of the two, which I would double. Like, think about, I never really comment on anything and never spew hate ever, because it's just stupid. Like, what's the fucking point? Like,
yeah, there's no
I just don't get like hating on something. I just understand it. Who cares? Like, what's the big deal? Like if I actually didn't like something, I would post like an actual like criticism. Like,
right.
I would be like, yo, this product's fucking stupid. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't, like, it would be something like that. Or it'd be like, oh, you're dumb. You don't understand how this works. Like, it would, like, the political system works, like, blah, blah, blah. It would be like something like that. But, like, I would never be like, you're retarded or something like this.
Yeah.
Or, like, just like a stupid, like,
the mistake
insult.
people make is like they just want to go on and they think that they can just put in the comments like, oh, you know, you're like, yeah, you're fucking dumb, just put in criticisms, and then they put no solution to the problem and then think that somehow they're in the right. And it's like, okay, that's fine if you have a criticism on something, so criticize it and then offer a solution or offer an answer that's better or that makes sense or more sense than what they said. Like, if you just criticize it and leave it at that, you're just hating at that point. It's like, shut the fuck up. You're not contributing to anything.
I mean, but it's just because that's the internet. They have the anonymous wall behind them. Like, yeah. Bro, my favorite thing is like in real life, like, because I like real conversation because that's where it's more fun. You can toy with people.
Oh, of course.
And, like, bro, in school, like my senior year, I love toying with people, just like doubling down on dumb things, like saying dumb shit and doubling down, and just like, especially with teachers, like. I remember with my class, with my creative writing class, I had one of my best friends. Me and him got like best friends of the year because we and him it was just me and him every year, like that year, just like fucking around. Yeah. But like me and him would just make jokes on jokes on joke, just saying whatever. And like our jokes were stupid. Most of the time they didn't have much context, or sometimes they'd practically be inside jokes, but it didn't matter because it was just funny to us, and that's all that mattered to us.
Yeah, of course.
So like I remember one time I was like, I went over to this girl who I eventually started liking in the class, but nothing happened. But like I went over her and she was eating this chip, and it was like some weird like chip, and I was like, let me try. And she was like, I ate it. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. And she was like, okay. And I took it from her, ate it, and then my teacher was like, Kyle, you can't cuss, blah blah blah, all that kind of thing. Yeah. Because I was the one that started the cuss jar, or cuss, whatever you want to call it, or the swear jar. In my class. And
in Stacy's.
Yeah, I started in that class. And so. Then my friend who like doubled down on top of me practically, he was like, shut the fuck up, Kyle, you shouldn't cuss. And he wasn't, and the teacher didn't hear him. And so me and him fucking died at that point, and just like me and him on the ground, and like it was the kind of thing where like it was only me and him heard it, we only understood, and me and him were only, well, like two other people, our friends in that class, like were laughing, but nothing like us. We were on the ground like dying of laughter. Like it was the hardest laughter, like most I laughed in like that year probably. That's
how me and Jacob were, because I remember we were doing state testing one day, and if you remember, the rule was no food or drink like during the state testing, and I had a Nelson's room right there by the kitchen and shit. And I went in there, and of course it was like by alphabet. So of course Jacob was always in classes that were arranged by alphabet in homerooms and shit. And so I walk in there, and of course I'm the dumb motherfucker. I just don't give a fuck. I walk in with a Pepsi. I'm like, whatever, bro.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
I'm finna sip my Pepsi, whatever. And so I go in there, and Jacob sees me, and he stands up, and mind you, Mr. Woods is over at the desk. Or I think it's Crawford's now. I think I said Nelson's at the beginning because they changed. But
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, that room. And he's over at the desk because you know how that room's arranged, right? So he's over at the desk. Jacob stands up and he goes, Darren, get out of here with that boof ass shit, and just yells it across the classroom. And I looked over at Mr. Woods. I'm like, you gonna let him talk to me like that? And Mr. Woods, he didn't say nothing, bro. Didn't make eye contact with Jacob and didn't make eye contact with me. I'm like, damn, this motherfucker just knows how Jacob is. He didn't want to get into it.
Yeah, man. I had a teacher that just gave up on me, like
and your parents.
Well, think about it. I've never had a teacher call my parents. Have you?
I've had the principal call my parents. Because, like, when I would get suspended and shit, but I don't think a teacher has.
A teacher hasn't for me or a principal, but
your ass is always covered.
I've gone close because I've gotten to. Did you ever get detention? Oh yeah, you did.
I got
detention. Or
I got lunch detentions and I got in school suspension.
Did you ever just get? Well, I got a normal detention, like just like fuck, because I was just in class. It was freshman year, and me and it was like the dumbest shit ever. It was literally because I just didn't want to back down. It was for my own pride. So it was like it was before class, joking around, making jokes with a person I don't care about. I was just making jokes with him, and so. I forget exactly, but he said something like right when class was starting, and like the teacher wrapped everything up, or like made everybody be quiet and everything.
Yeah.
And he said something, and I was like, yeah. And then the teacher was like, said like, be quiet, and I was like, yeah, shut up, or something like that. And then the teacher was like, do you want, like, I guess she was mad. She was like, Kyle, do you want attention? I was like, sure. And she was like, really? Man. I'm like, yeah, sure. And I was like, I'm not gonna back down, because I'm like,
she had to do it at that point. She couldn't back down either.
Yeah, because I was like, sure, why not? And then she was like, oh really? I'm like, yeah, why not? I don't care. And I was like, I don't care. And so I walked up to the she was like, okay. And then I walked up there. I fucking put my arm on the desk because it was one of the science rooms. Yeah. So it was Rosh's. I put my arm on the desk, and like I put like my leg, like you know when you lean and like you wrap your leg around, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
I did that on the desk.
Making yourself comfy.
Yeah, make yourself comfy, acting confident. And I remember this girl who I was trying to get with, and
Z.
Yeah, and I remember I was looking over, and she was like, "You're fucking stupid. Like, why would you do this?" I was like, "I don't know. I don't care, man. It's just a detention. Who cares?"
Yeah, probably didn't look super good to her.
In my mind at the time, I was like, I don't give a shit.
You're like, oh yeah, bro, I'm a fucking badass.
Well,
no,
I never thought of myself as a badass. I was just like, I'm gonna stand my ground. I don't care. It's a detention, whatever. And like, I was just like, at this point, I can't. Like, after I said I don't care, I was like, I'm not backing down. I'm not gonna look like a bitch, because I've already gone that far. I can't back down.
So then, how did you end up explaining that one to your parents?
This is another story. So I never told them directly. Okay. So they found out. So I had it planned out. I was like, after school 30 minutes. I'll just tell my sister that I'm gonna stay after school to do some homework.
Oh my fucking god!
And I'll just get my sister to come get me. 30 minutes. It'll be 30 minutes. It'll just be like a simple like, oh, teacher, can you help me with this thing? And like, and like, nothing. There'll be no problem. I was like, I know this will work flawless.
Yeah.
It was perfect. Everything was fine. Want to know how they found out?
How?
Through my sister's boyfriend. So my sister,
Caleb?
Yeah.
What the fuck? He snitched?
It's not on purpose, but he thought like my sister or my parents already knew or whatever. But I kept it a secret and everything. And I just had the pink slip in my backpack, and I was like, I'll just serve it tomorrow, whatever, we'll be good. And then my mom ran in my room and was like, blah, 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 yelled at me, this or that. She grounded me for the weekend. I couldn't hang out with anybody, which
Jesus
sucked.
Christ.
And then my sister came in with her boyfriend. He was like, oh, sorry, I didn't know. So he told her, because he found out, because I guess it spread around a little bit. And then he told her, and then she told my mom, and then my mom got mad at me.
Were you pissed at him?
Yeah, I was like, come on, man. I knew I 100% would have got away with it.
Well, you know the shit him and Trent put me through, remember?
Yeah, I know. I was a part of that.
Yeah, when they had that little special order that I got for him, and then I ended up getting fucked for it. Yeah. Holy fuck, yeah. That was terrible.
Yeah, of course it was.
Because they brought me down to the office, and they're like, he didn't even, like, at this point, like, I had been down there so many times, he didn't even bother saying hi. He was just like, Darren, are you selling weed? And I'm like, no. I'm like, let me think about that.
That's how it was my senior year, too.
They're like, at that point, they're like, they knew me, like, they knew that I was, like, lying and tried to get away with everything. So they're just like, straight up just like, let's just get down to business. Like, there's no cutting.
That's how I was with
corners.
Hirschman. Yeah. I would walk in, like, because I came in like 3 times. I'd walk in, he'd be like, why are you searching this? And I'd be like, okay, calm down.
Oh, right. It was for the guns, and then you
bombs. Well, porn was the first one. That was the first time, and he sat me down and went through the whole spiel, and I was like, it was funny. Like, I searched porn on the computer 1,000,000 times at school just to fuck with them to see if they ever look, and then they finally did after.
Right, like you weren't really just wanking it in the corner.
The thing about it is, well, it never worked. It was always blocked.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing about it was, when we what happened is, because I don't know what class I was in, but the teacher was like, did you guys see the announcements? Because our senior year, our announcements they were sent through the email, and all the teachers would just bring it up and show it. And it was a video that they filmed, like pre-recorded that day, of some students saying the announcements. And Hirschman had a little segment where he was like, we have monitoring your search. If you look up anything bad, it will come up. We'll know about it. And my teacher at the time didn't show that. So so I didn't see the announcements itself. I only heard about it because I remember a teacher was like, I don't know if the teacher in that class brought the announcement up again, like actually showed it, or if they just explained it and talked about it. And I was like, oh really? We'll see. And typed in Pornhub, and I was like, look. And my friend laughed. We had a little fun chuckle. And then literally the next period or the period after, I got called down, and I was like,
was it in the beginning of the period, or?
It was, I think, like later in half. Like I think it was like a 7th period type shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and then I went down and went through it all, and then like.
And so what did he say? Did he ask you how you were doing?
He was like, so why I forget exactly, but he was like, so why you looking up this stuff? And I was like, what you mean? And he's like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I can't remember if I said it or if he said it, but I don't know who said it first. But I was like, okay. I was like, well, I was just looking up for a joke. I'm pretty sure I knew what it was about when I came in.
Oh, of course.
But I wasn't positive. I'm pretty sure I gave my vape and stuff to a friend before I went, to make sure. The other times I didn't, because I didn't give a fuck. And those times too, I would have my card on me because like in senior year, bro, I was Buell, and in school I was taking like blinkers upon blinkers in class, and I'd be, bro, my 4th period for that second 9 weeks in poetry, I would go in there and sleep through that period every day practically. There was actually one day I slept through in the entire period. Like I remember waking up because I would always sleep through 2nd and 3rd period because those were both study halls. Yeah. So I'd go in, sit down, sleep, wake up, go to my other table for the next period, sit down, sleep, wake up, meet with my friend, walk to my next class, sit down in that desk, sleep, and then I would wake up and do work. But I remember one day I literally slept through all of it, woke up at the end of 4th period because a friend woke me up, and I was like, huh? And then I went to 5th period. I was like, I've literally slept like 3 hours at school.
And it's an odd experience sleeping at school because once you wake up, like you actually feel like you traveled dimensions. You're
Bro,
like,
you don't understand.
You're like, where am I?
Year, I slept every single day. Like actually, like because it was always morning shit. Like first semester, I had a 1st period study hall I would sleep in every day. I would come in high as shit every morning, and then I would sit down in my desk, and I would sometimes do work, mostly never, and I would just go to bed every time. And
I think if you had good enough grades, if you had a 1st period or a 9th period study hall, you could either come in late or leave early.
Couldn't drive.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Couldn't drive.
I was gonna say, motherfucker.
Couldn't drive. Just got my license a month ago.
Yeah, that's right. Like that's right. And you already crashed a car, you fucker.
Okay, barely.
Do you wanna tell that story on the podcast?
I don't think we did.
No, right. And actually, hold on. Before you tell that, I do have to tell you some news about the podcast we just did the other day. So the other night I went in to edit it, right? And so I opened the file up. Turns out, so we could hear it through the earbuds. So it was monitoring it through the mixer and through the earbuds, but it wasn't recording through the mics. It was recording through the laptop input, and it was monitoring through the mics. So the audio is completely unsalvageable. I had to scrap the whole thing.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
So I was like, motherfucker.
That's perfect. Okay, so do you want me to go through the story again?
Yeah.
So it was Saturday or Friday, coming home from work.
You got to promo my music, too. What were you listening to on the way home?
I was listening to Pac-Man.
Yeah.
But because my dad's car has some good speakers. It was like 1st or 2nd week of driving. And I was coming home. Pulled in the driveway. I was listening to Pac-Man. I shot a little video in my car, and it came out shit because it was super dark and whatever. Yeah. But like I was listening to Pac-Man, and then I pulled in the driveway. perfectly fine. And I go to like turn off the music or pause it because I had it like super loud, and I took my foot off the brake, and I forgot to put the car in park, and it went forward and hit my house, just ran into my house, like 2 feet in front of it went 2 feet forward and just ran into my house, and I was like,
went over the basketball base.
there was a basketball base right there, and it went over that, hit the fucking house, and I was like, oh my fucking god, did that just really happen? Threw that bitch in reverse, went back, threw it in park, and like stared at that park and like made sure, like double checked that shit, took my foot off the brake, and then like went out and checked, and I was like, fuck, there were some scratches on the paint, not a lot, barely any, honestly, and then there's some on like the bumper here or there, and then I looked down, or then actually I actually went back inside. I like took a shower, like I waited till like 12 or 1 a.m. Went back out again, and then checked, and I was checking the scratches, see if I could get rid of them with like sandpaper or like whatever. It was just looking at the damage with a better look.
Right.
And then I look around the whole front bumper, and I see that the fog light is cracked or completely shattered. I was like, fuck, and it's the plastic, so I'd have to replace the whole thing. And I was like, oh.
And wasn't the bulb shattered on the inside?
I don't know. I'm not sure. But the actual like plastic around it encasing was shattered. So I was like, that have to replace. And then told my mom. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to tell my dad. And then I waited till the next day, told him, and he was like, yeah, I broke that fog light myself. I was like, oh, really? Nice. So I only did some scratches.
Reason. Yeah.
So I only did some scratches.
Well, and we went even, I think it was the next day, we actually went up to that fucking Mitsubishi dealership to look for touch-up paint.
Yeah. And it was a shitty dealership.
Oh, my God. It was the only dealership I've ever seen without a proper, like part department, I guess. Like,
there was like no place like to sit, or like there's like no like exact area.
There's only offices.
Like normally you see people around, or you see like at least some place where you go, like a front desk to be like hello or something, but there was nowhere. And I get that we're like 20-year-olds, we look like 20-year-olds that wouldn't have any money, but like still we didn't even see anybody. Like,
well, it was so weird. It was like a big office area or some shit, and then it was literally only a garage. Like when I go to the Honda dealership over in Green, it's like you can go in, there's like a big area, there's like a sitting area, they have a bunch of cars inside you can look at, and then they have like a parts department where you can go back. They got touch-up paint, they got all, plastics, all the parts you need, oil fill, all types of shit, and the fluids and all that, all Honda branded back there. You go up to the desk and you just tell them, hey, I got a, whatever 08 Ridgeline and I need the blue touch-up paint. And then they say, the Ford or whatever engine. They put it in, then they look up the part number, go in the back, and it's like a library back there. And they just pick the part from the fucking 8-digit number or whatever and bring it to you. Yeah, they didn't even have that out there. So it was like, what the fuck? It was so confused. It was, honest to God, I've been to so many dealerships, especially because, when you're first buying cars, you're shopping around everywhere. I mean, I drove for the Accord. I drove all the way into the middle of Akron to get, the Accord. Yeah. And so, it's like I've been to so many dealerships. And even I went with my dad ever since I was like 10 years old. I went with my dad to get every car that he's gotten pretty much. And almost the same with my mom. So it's like I've never been to a dealership like that in my entire life. Granted, I've never bought a Mitsubishi or been there to buy a Mitsubishi, but never been to a dealership like that ever, because even some other dealerships will sell other brand cars like Honda and Toyota and stuff. So it's like I'm not always just at a Honda dealership. So that was a very odd experience for sure.
It was weird, but whatever. It
was weird. We walked in and there's 30 cubicles on each side and just people working.
It made no sense. It was a stupid design.
And nobody even looked at us. Like, they just thought it was normal. Like, we just both walked in there like,
people?
What the fuck?
I don't remember if there were people in there, honestly.
There was some in the cubicle and they didn't even turn around.
I thought it was honestly pretty much empty. It felt like it was pretty much empty.
It was weird as fuck. Yeah. But, hey. Cat over here messing with the damn cords.
Hit the box with the cat toy. Just work problems are just worse, because you only go there for so long every day, and then you always have to go back to them.
I know, and it's like
it's unavoidable most of the time.
Yeah, and it's like my day off is like I should just be like chilling, but it's like I'm still like dealing with work bullshit even on my fucking day off. Yeah. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah, and I feel you. I gotta fill in for somebody who's just stupid.
And that's one of the problems with getting like comfortable in your job too. is just because it's like you'll get comfortable there, and then you start knowing people, and then that's when like, oh, you see like, oh, these people are picking sides, and it's like you're almost like, oh, well, I know all these people really well. You're almost obligated to be like, oh, I got your back, or I got your right, type shit. And so it's like, but then again, you kind of have to be in the mix if you want promoted, if you want your name out there, if you want people like managers to recognize you and be like, oh, you need promoted. You have to be out there and make yourself known,
Yeah.
But it's just like a lot of these people that just stay back in the shadows and never get promoted, they have the benefit of just laying low and not being in the mix. They're not the first ones the managers go to when they need someone to do a 7-day week. You know what I'm saying? They're not the first ones for anything. They're just they show up, they do their shit, and they get out before anybody notices. So
that's how I'll be.
Yeah, and that's how I was for a while, but it's like inevitable at some point if you want to move up, or it's like then you start like knowing the trainers and people in management, and it's inevitable. There's always politics and drama in management, and that's the fucking worst. And also, like, I understand like the management job itself is like not that easy because it's middle management technically, so you're trying to appease like the working class people, and then you're also trying to appease like the people in the offices back at corporate too. Like they send out, because they don't stand there and they don't have to tell us the rules, so they can make up any bullshit they want. They give it to the managers and go, well, here, you got to present it to these motherfuckers, and you deal with the backlash, whatever they think.
Yeah.
So it's a tough position.
It's all annoying, especially the bigger the business.
See, and that's why I was trying to tell my little brother he needs to get in at where your old job was, because I'm like, here's the thing you don't understand. Like, you're going to be tossed into, like, you don't want to just go into the corporate world for your first job. Like, throw yourself into that shit in a big corporation or, like, an office job, some shit like that. Like, fuck all that, bro. Like, because I started at Dunkin' first, and that sucked, bro. That's the real world right there. That's fucking reality. It's kind of like how you said when you go to college, instead of going out into a career, you're almost sheltered.
Yeah, it's bullshit, man.
Yeah. So.
But, yeah, I think that's a great story to end it on, man.
Yeah. Yeah, because these fucking cats are terrible.
Yeah.
God damn it. But all right, well, yeah, that has been another episode of the Cool Kids Show.